Okay, hello, hello. Welcome to the Embodied CEO Era. I have the absolute amazing Skye Hanley here. Just love her so much. And I just feel so blessed that I know you. And, every conversation that we have is just super, super powerful. And so, welcome, Skye. Thank you for being
Thank you.
here.
Oh my gosh, I'm really excited to be here. And obviously, big love to you, first and foremost, for inviting me along. And hopefully, I don't know, we'll see if we spit some fire today. And yeah, and who knows what's going to come out of either of our mouths. But obviously, I'm really excited to be here.
I feel like that's our conversation, every conversation we have.
Like,
It's
I
like,
don't
oh,
know
I have
what's going
no
to happen.
idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
something magical always
We'll pull
does.
it together. There'll be magic in here for sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's get into it. So, Skye, for someone meeting you for the first time, how would you describe the work that you do?
Yeah, I mean, amazing question. To be honest with you, like, um, yeah, I describe it by probably describing myself a little bit first. I don't know that that's the right answer or that I would probably, would I teach you that? No, but I have enough ego that I would just lead with myself, apparently. The way I look at it, look, I'm a business strategist by kind of trade, I suppose, but not even so much just by trade, but by identity. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being a business strategist because I really love the fact that I am a walking, breathing calculator of information and of data, right? And that to me is my greatest skill sets. It's my genius, and what it is that I love to do. I simply love business, so business strategist, business mentor, whatever words you want to use in and around that. However, what I would say is this, that for me in particular, like we apparently I'm a we come at things from like three different levels. So strategically, behaviorally, and universally. So even though I say I'm a business strategist, like anytime I'm strategizing or balancing the data, like I take into account, yes, business, because I love business. Business is the vehicle that enables us to get our magic to the world. Fuck yes to business. Like how lucky we are to have something like that, that can bring us so much amazing freedom, right? First and foremost. So there is always going to be a strategic 3D fucking portion, to that. But on top of that, we then have the human, right? The human aspect. And the human is data as well, because it's so important that we take into consideration, whether somebody's expanding or contracting. Do they feel excited and lit up by what they're doing or don't they? Is there some kind of old stuck pattern or rewiring or whatever it might be rolling around in their head that we need to, a new identity we need to upgrade into some kind of future self now, though, right? And then on top of that layer, on top of the human, because we are, a universal being here for the full human experience. So we can't negate that either. We then have the universal portion. And the universal portion for me is, everything from mission and fulfillment and the amazing sort of 5D scenario of it all. So I don't mind how people look at that, what words they use around that, but it is the greater aspect to everything that it is that we do. And so for me, yeah, I'm a transformational leader of a social enterprise. I get to transform lives for a living. I help those who help others, coaches and consultants and things like that. And the way in which that we do it is strategically, behaviorally, and universally because, how can you do it any other way?
Yeah, there's just so much gold in just I'm like listening to it going, oh my God, yes, 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 and yes, thank you, thank
Tick,
you, thank you.
tick.
Tick, tick, tick. You've done
Yes.
very, very well with that answer. I'm very impressed.
I think this is why we're in each other's realms though, like because you get this stuff, right? Like that there are all those different portions to play, right? And I think that's sometimes where a lot of business coaches and business mentors may get it wrong, to throw a little bit of shade, not too much, but because I don't know, we just don't look at it from that perspective. It's not all just bro marketing and bro strategy and things like that, and rah-rah money. And don't get me wrong, I mean, look at me. I'm a shiny, motherfucker. And so I love rah-rah money. Love it. But there's so much more to existence and to expansion. You get to be filthy fucking rich, and out there living an impactful life as well. And why the fuck not? And why wouldn't you want to? And that's what we build from.
Yeah, I found like um there's so many people out there that are very, very good at selling.
Mm.
And there's some people out there that are very, very good at deliverables. And
Hmm.
sometimes those people that are really good at selling are not good at the deliverables. And then other people that are good at the deliverables are not good at selling. So for
Yes.
someone like what I struggled with, I feel like the most is I'm very good at deliverables. Like I
Yes.
am like not to shoot myself,
Creation
all about feet
energy.
to feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm really good at what I do,
Yeah.
right? And I feel like there's so many people out there that are very, very good at what they do, but they can't seem to articulate it in the way that it's not necessarily just about tangible outcomes, but it's deeper than that. It's the way that they explain their work. So for
Yes.
someone who was like me,
Yeah.
no longer like that,
Yeah.
not
Yeah. Yeah.
no longer
Future self.
available for
Future
that.
self. Yeah.
But for somebody who struggles with the articulation of what they do and how they do it, what's some advice that you would give to someone like that? Because I feel like
Yeah.
that's
Like,
a big thing.
totally, totally. And so, what I would say is this first and foremost, let's just normalize that. Most people that are within like some kind of, coaching, healing, spiritual business, service-based, like, scenario, and me myself too, like, a decade or two ago, like I'm a multimodality health professional. I come from the background and love of humans, of behavioral science, of our health and our body and how it functions and how it doesn't function, and all of those amazing things. And so when we generally step into, coaching as a the broad parameter of it, coaching, healing, spirituality, whatever that might be, we generally approach it from the perspective of having that love and wanting to help people, wanting to be of service. And that is so fucking beautiful and brilliant. And it's an amazing place to start. Business is a whole other fucking skill set, and it's meant to be, right? And so when like the biggest thing I think I help people with, I hope anyway, is the fact that it's like, I don't want you to be the world's best kept secret, because you could be the best coach, the best healer, the best spiritual person in the world. But if nobody knows who the fuck you are, then that talent is wasted. That healing potential, that help, that service, that could be potentially helping at a greater scale. And most of us, I don't know that I'd call it a superiority complex, but generally, if you are a coach, a healer, or spiritual businesses and stuff like that, we generally all want to help at mass. Like if we can help as many people as we possibly can, that to us feels like a beautiful, fulfilling life. And again, it takes us back to, unfortunately and fortunately, right, playing the strategic game of business itself, being the vehicle, being the structure that gives us freedom and the ability to go out there and help and support other people. And so, if that answers your question in some regard, it's like, it's okay. Please know that you're not meant to understand business, right? Like, not really, not initially, because it is entirely different. And once you start, hopefully, getting the support from people who maybe whose first love is that kind of a thing, and who can help you in a strategic, individualized, personal, inspiring way, that takes a bit of the pressure off you, in relation to having to understand marketing as its own language, and, and business and how to build, and, authority and getting yourself out there, and social media and the algorithms and all these different things, right? Like, get support so that obviously, like, those things that aren't necessarily your first love or your first language or your first, expertise, like so that we can actually get you out there to the world. Because sitting in the background and just kind of going, oh well, I don't really know how to do these things, and just playing in the fun stuff and the creation energy of deals and offers and helping people, if nobody knows who you are, it's lost. So yeah.
Yeah, because I felt that way when I went from hairdressing to then owning my salon. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm so good at hairdressing. I'm really good at hairdressing. So I could make a business from that. And then when I got into it, I was like, holy crap, now I have to look at stock levels, I have to look at income, I have to look at marketing, I have to look at like hiring people. Like it just felt very, very overwhelming for me because I was looking at it from clearly it can't be that hard to run a business.
Yes. And
Surely.
then it's so interesting. I mean, you and I talk about this all the time, like the identity portion of it all as well. And I think something really interesting happens again when we step into coaching, healing, spirituality, that realm of things. Like we become the product, And so yeah, selling ourselves, starts like we start having weird relationships with these kinds of things. And there is a portion of business, you'll hear me say business is business. Like there is just a portion of business that is just business things, right? Like, and that is important, and that you protect that ecosystem as its own separate identity that lives and breathes separate to you. Right? Because if everything in our business is attached to our identity, as things, wax and wane as they do anyway, then so does our own self-worth. And that's not a great place to be in, to be like, I always make the joke that just because the CEO of Woolworths has her period one day doesn't mean that the entire Woolworths across Australia are closed down, right? Like there's a supermarket if you're overseas. It's like it just doesn't happen, And so I'm all for like business being business, and you and your own identity and holding yourself to a standard and stuff like that as well. Like infallible, self-concept is so important too, so that our emotionality on any given day doesn't actually then hijack the business portion of business. And so we've got to look at those two things separately.
Yeah. Because I honestly feel like some people don't post, for instance, because they're not feeling it. I'm not feeling it, so I won't post. And it's like, but what is because they don't want to spread that frequency. I was like that for a long time. I was like, I'm in like imposter syndrome, and I can't post from imposter syndrome because then I'm just spreading more imposter syndrome. Or like when the endometriosis pain was really high, I'm like, well, I can't post right now because I'm in pain. I don't want to spread my pain around. And I feel like once I started to separate the emotion around the pain and actually just posting because I have something valuable to say.
That's the key. Yes,
That's the key. Yeah, right. And I was like, and it was the same like with hiring coaches and things like that. When I was hiring coaches because I felt like I was broken and I need someone to help me fix myself, I always attracted people that were good at selling, not good at deliverables. Yeah. And I had so many people that were like selling me the world and made me, and I'm like, that I struggle with this and I struggle, and they're like, no problem, don't worry about that, come on. But I feel like, I've done a few things with you and I feel like your selling is as good as your deliverables and vice versa. So like, you know what I mean? It's not, you don't have to choose between whether you're good at selling or good at deliverables. You can just be a good human and be good at.
Yes. And I think like that again, that's the key, right? Is the portion that is integrity, And so even with anyone listening to us today, as we dive into a bit of business, as we dive into a bit of, dollars, as we dive into deliverables or marketing, or we dive whatever it is, right? The assumption in my mind always is that if you're listening, back to us right now, you're already a human of integrity, So I'm not worried that you wouldn't, like, sure, your deliverable might need some tweaking, that's okay. And it's meant to live and breathe and grow and be refined and mastered, along with us. Like that's the journey that we're on, right? But at the same time, like, yeah, there is a disconnect out there quite a lot, where there are people who are amazing at selling and not so good in the back end, and what I would much rather, like for all of you humans here with integrity, is I just assume you're already a great coach, healer, spiritual person, whatever it may be. We've just got to get you good at the front bit as well, so that you can have your share of those amazing humans out there, because I know that once you get your hands on them, you're going to do amazing things with them, right? And then they're not going to those other people, whoever they may be, that promise the world and then can't kind of back it up behind the scenes.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. But
And that's why you can't hide from the skill set, of, I often say, please don't vomit if you're listening to us right now. Like, I'm not here to just go rah, rah business, rah, rah, like rah, rah strategy. It's really not that either, but I just think that what we're talking about now, sometimes that missing portion, is that understanding that, do you just have a cute little side hobby business, or are you fucking playing at business like for real? And if you're playing at business for real, again, that comes back to the identity piece, where it's like, we need to raise your fucking, minimum standards and your perception and your identity of yourself as a CEO, as a business owner, which then also means you might need help and support, for scalability and for those front end things, because you are actually, please don't kill me, don't shoot the messenger, you're a marketer first, you're a business human second, and you're a practitioner of whatever it is that you're doing third. Right? At heart, that's what you are. And I totally get that. And we don't want to take that away from you. I literally want to create you an ecosystem that is long-term and sustainable, so that you get to do the thing that you fucking love forever. But to do that, we kind of have to put those front pieces in first.
yeah, because I feel like that's where a lot of people kind of get mixed up in it, is that like this whole identity thing, right? I feel like there's so many different aspects and levels of it. And this whole thing that seems to be regurgitated at the moment is just act like the $1,000,000 version of yourself. Just act like the, but it's more than that. It's think like her, feel like her, deliver
Dress like her, show up like her, yes, fuck like her.
Yeah. And it's like, I feel like that embodiment piece is what's missing in a lot of people.
Yes.
Because when you go, oh, well, I'm just going to act as if I'm a millionaire, and you've got $3 in your pocket, like there's going to be some energetic discrepancies there. Like that can actually sometimes.
Discrepancy is a really great word. Like, the discrepancy that I see at the moment is between, and I throw this again, we seem to be throwing some shade today. What is going on? Like, I don't even know. Am I hormonal? Who knows?
But like it needs to be said though. Like
it needs to be said, right?
Be said.
Because we've got to disrupt the pattern of what is being thought out there, especially if it's putting people into some kind of a shame pattern. Like we said before, you're not meant to understand marketing. It's a fucking language of its own, right? If you're learning an entirely new way of your brain, like having to function and bend around this fucking thing, so it's if you're feeling a bit disheartened because you're like, gritted teeth, that's actually really normal. Like, let's not fucking shame that. And so the discrepancy that I see out there, at the moment, and again, I throw this bit of shade with a little bit of love, because there are a lot of people out there in the industries that are actually my friends, and they know I throw this fucking shade at them. But the manifestation babes, I'm not against manifestation, but I think it's doing a bit of a disservice right now out there, because the manifestation babes are sort of saying, hey, let's manifest things. Like, I'm not against the let's work on yourself concept. Let's do the identity pieces. A lot of them are promoting that stuff as well. Thank God, because we need that up leveling. And as you said, it's not as simple as just going, I'm a millionaire now, like positivitying the fuck over it, like versus actually understanding, well, what is the fucking operating system? If I am showing up as that person now, what decisions am I making? What actions am I taking? And that's the discrepancy, right? Because because even the manifestation babes out there promoting all of that stuff are fucking running operating systems. They have strategies, they have structure in their business, And so, like, if we're not thinking about that, we think even manifestation is just this thing that's going to float in the window, and we're going to, slap us in the face one day, and we're going to have all of our, goals and desires. And it's not that, right? It's identity plus having the right business model that is going to equal the operating system. So identity and operating system is then you showing up, taking those actions, reprogramming your brain, which is going to get you the results. Right. And if we're still defaulting to old operating systems, all of your yesterdays end up equaling your tomorrows. right? And
Yeah.
so the only way to reprogram yourself and your identity to get a different fucking result is to live into your future self now. But you have to understand what that means, because it can't just be, like it can't just be I put on pretty perfume and I look nice. If that's a part of it, I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong. But it's then, how am I showing up? What am I operating? Where are my minimum standards now? What am I fucking charging? And then holding yourself to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I love like the concept of, yes, you can lay on your lounge and manifest winning the lottery. Like, good job. Great. But you actually have to get off your ass and go and buy the lottery ticket.
Yeah,
Like, you
exactly.
have
Yes.
to take the action
Yeah.
to get the lottery ticket. Or you could be there going, oh, I really hope my mum wins the lottery. And then she would just give me a whole bunch of money. But your mum still has to take action and go and buy the
Yeah.
freaking lottery ticket. So
I
there
always
is
say,
always some action.
yeah, manifestation. I created this, like, I mean, I don't know if I created it or how I created it in terms of the words anyway. Years ago, my understanding, how I could articulate my understanding of manifestation. To me, manifestation is vision plus big motherfucking action.
Mm.
Right? Like, you've got to actually, like, again, you can't just fucking lay there and hope that it, somehow, I don't know, by osmosis, like comes over you or whatever. That sounds hot if it's going to come all over you. But anyway, it's not like that, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I actually have to take action in the direction of that thing to send signal to the universe. Like, that's the place I want to be. You and I know, and we call this location. Location, you guys, is basically like lifting yourself up. Like, this is how I see it. And I don't use this word lightly. It's kind of like the matrix of it. Like, I just see it like this expansive universe in my mind, right? Um, and it's like lifting yourself up out of this current position and then putting yourself into a whole other like place of being, where this no longer fucking exists. And the only way to move forward is based on like that in, the actions, the movements, the standards of that whole, new future you in the now. Like, that's how we do it. It is the only way to reprogram yourself, or you just continue to live out the same old patterns.
Mm. Yeah, 100%. So a few years ago, I woke up on January 1st and I was like, I don't know why, I don't know how, but I know that this, I'm going to make $100,000 this year. I'm just going to make $100,000. $100,000 is just going to come to me. I don't know how, when, where, why, whatever. And I trusted that on such a deep level. And then my mum rings me one day and she goes, oh, I've decided to give you and your brothers $100,000 each. And I was like,
Thanks.
well, okay, thank you. Like, what do you say to that? After I hung up,
No.
I did like a little bit of a dancey dance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, it wasn't that I needed to specifically take action to get that $100,000. It did just kind of show up with me. But
Yeah.
I knew it was embedded in me. I believed with all my heart. And to me, that's the action taking, the
Yeah.
believing. Sometimes that's all you need to do.
Mm.
But there's very, very rare cases that has happened. I've
It's
tried
the
to manifest
holding.
a green light, and it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
$100,000 just seemed to fall into my lap.
It's holding location, like it's holding location long enough, that the external reality can only but bend to your internal, dynamics as well. Right? Like, because if you're just like, I know I'm making $100,000, $100,000 is coming my way, and you disconnect even from the how, as you did, because we're not going to say no to mum handing us 100,000. It's like, but if you're so sure and you're living in that version of existence where there is nothing else, then that's actually how matter and time, moves around us. So reality can only but bend. And then, the external starts to match what you already know to be true internally anyway. And you can't bullshit that. Like, you can't, but you have to go first. You have to go first. And too many people sit there and go, I will feel worthy when my bank account reflects the $100,000. Then I'll know, and then I'll feel worthy, or I'll feel enough, or I'll be happy, or whatever. Whereas if you're holding the standard and the internal location of, I'm already a badass motherfucker, like I know and trust that this thing is coming my way, and I don't need the external reality to like show me for me to internally already embody this fucking like, version of myself, right? Hold that long enough and the external can only but bend. And people get that backwards. That's the biggest fucking problem.
Yeah, because in those moments, I fully embodied.
You just knew.
Me on some on some timeline, in some reality, it's already mine. I'm just like, I wonder how it's going to turn out.
Yeah.
And I didn't think about it every day. I didn't go, where's my $100,000? Like I just went, I'm going to make $100,000 this year.
Yeah.
And by June, I think it was, or June or July, I was like, Mum's like, here's $100,000. Like, okay, thanks. We're going to go to Egypt.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Mum.
Love you. Yeah. Okay. So what is the favorite thing about what you do?
Oh, God.
Yes. Pick one. No.
No, I know, right?
You can elaborate. It's fine. It's fine. You can pick more than one. It's all right. But yeah, what's the favorite thing? Like if you could describe one moment that really like gets your fluids moving in your That's an interesting way of asking that question.
Yeah. And look, to be honest with you, I could almost reflect this question back to you in a way because you and I have known each other long enough by now, that it's a lot of things, right? Like I feel like I'm fairly like by the end of this podcast, I will have lost my voice because even I can hear how fucking passionately I'm talking to all of you right now, and I'm going, calm it down because I'm going to lose my voice all afternoon, but I can't not, and so these moments, like broadly speaking, service is my greatest fucking joy. Service is my mission in life, in all ways, shapes, or form. If there is something that is rolling around in my head that could somehow help another human being, in some way, shape, or form, fuck yes to that. That's me, life made. And so I'm just so lucky, and I've built a life, and now I get to help other people build that life as well around all the things that they're lit up by, that they feel fucking joy, towards freedom, like, working less hours and having more choice, and money as well. Again, like clearly I love it. And I think that's okay. You're allowed to love money. Money gets to be the energetic reward for the great work that we do. And we do live in this 3D environment. So play the fucking money game, and make it a game. It gets to be fun and playful. And we get to make shit tons of it, why the fuck not? And it gets to be easy, right? And so me being the human I am and building a life around me and what I want, what I love to do, which is help people, like that has me in my joy every single day. And so, it's broad. My favorite thing is all of it. But that's because this is the life that I've built. And I'm so lucky that I now get to help other people build that life too.
Yeah, because that, like with my edge codex, like that's the D in the edge, is that desire. It's like if you really tap into that innate desire, and if that's money, like mad, awesome, like good for you. Like to me, money is like the amount of money that I have in my bank account is a reflection of the amount of people that I've been able to help. But it's not only that, it's that my embodiment is reflected in my bank account. My identity and my belief system is reflected in my bank account. And I love that just gets to grow and grow and grow.
Exactly.
And that I get to help other people to do that as well. Like I feel like one of my favorite moments is when somebody goes, oh, that's what I've been searching for the past God knows how long. That moment there.
Yeah.
When everything just clicks into place, I feel like that's my favorite moment. And I'm like, good job, Megan.
Yeah. And, and it's so true. And I know that even showing up here today, we're like, I can't help it. I'm like energy and passion and talking about all the things and like whatever. But anyone who's been in and around me, and my world of things and stuff like that long enough knows that it doesn't, like, it's not ever very far under the surface that, I can be welling with tears for the honor of what it is that we get to do every single day. I just gave myself goosebumps. And I always say, like, oh, they're just going down my face as well. Because the day that I stop getting goosebumps, when I actually sit in it for 3 seconds, like when I actually sit in the service and being able to just fucking help people and that anyone would want to listen to me for any amount of time, when I sit in that and think about the people they then get to go out there and help, like, as I said, it doesn't take me very long to fucking well up in tears, because it's my honor. Like, that's the direction I see it. Like, it's my fucking honor to be able to help somebody like that.
Yeah, amazing. I just love talking to you. But like sometimes you take my breath away because I'm so like
Oh,
into like what you're saying. I forget to breathe.
it's those, but they're the moments, right? Like you said, it's that moment where, like, even in a client, they reflect something back to you, and you just sit there, like, and it could be something so unexpected, or just a moment of humanity or beauty, or anything, and it just takes your breath away, like, because it's not. I've got enough of an ego, but at the same time, I promise you, I'm also fucking humbled enough. Like, as I said, it is my fucking honor that anyone would listen to me and that I get to do the things that I get to do. And so, in those moments, like when it's just you and another human, like, to me, that's fucking life made, life made. And I'm so fucking lucky and grateful that I've had so many of those moments over the years, like, where I can say that, where I just go, oh my gosh, life made, like, because that's why I do what it is that I do, and yeah, and that is not fucking lost on me, like, on any given day.
Do you feel like sometimes that money is a byproduct of those feelings and those, like, we don't necessarily like have to focus on money, but also like
It's an
money is
interesting, yeah,
there, but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, this whole money is a byproduct of service.
Yeah. So I have two answers for that. I love duality. The reason I would have two answers for that is because I know that there are a lot of people out there that have a bit of a weird relationship with the whole money thing. And I
Mm.
would rather money either be neutral or money be like a positive fucking game than for it to be like, yes, we focus on service. Yes, we focus on, frequency and location and identity and all of these beautiful things. Yes, that's absolutely what it is all about. But I've done what I've done, as a strategist, as a coach, as a mentor, long enough that I am careful with my words when I talk about those things, because it sometimes gives permission to the wrong people that actually need the fucking money kick in the pants fucking conversation. And so I say there are two answers, and it would depend on who it is that I'm coming in contact with. Some people, it's like, yes, absolutely, you've got a great relationship, go out there, just serve, show up, do it with a bit of strategy behind, all these different things. And yes, that will expand you and create awesome, an awesome reality around you. And there are other people who need the fucking money kick in the pants. Because again, I think it's very easy for us to default, like money is evil, or I'm not in it for the money. I'm just not in it for the money. I'm just in it to help people. Great, and if you're in survival mode, you can't actually function enough. You are you centric versus other person centric versus mission centric, right? If you are filthy fucking rich, then the amount of people that you can actually help, like, if I can put more wealth in the hands of women, I know more good happens in the world,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And so, but that starts with somebody healing their fucking relationship with money to begin with, so that they are not in survival mode. You are allowed to want for you first. Then you want to help the people around you, and money does that. We don't have to hate money. This is the vehicle, the business, the reality. It buys you the freedom, right? And then from a place of freedom, we then have choice, right? And your missions get to expand from that place. And I give this example. This is, I don't mean this in an ego-y way, and you already know this, Megs, but my dream was never like to, I joke and throw shade, right? Like, the manifestation babes leaning on their, Lamborghini, half naked, fanning themselves with all of their money or something like that, right? That was never the goal for me. That was never the vision, And don't get me wrong, if I had Lamborghini money, I'd potentially, buy one, and maybe I would lay there naked, fanning myself. I don't know, but the goal always for me was that I wanted to be able to make, an overflow of money so that I could give back of my greatest commodity. And my greatest commodity is time, not money anyway. But I had to have freedom in my life to be able to do that first. So for me, what that looked like, and I was very lucky, probably it's now 4 years ago now, and this was always in my brain. I wanted to be able to go back and study paramedical science so that I could, again, give my time to another part of me, which is, highly medical, to be able to serve, to serve in a greater and different way. Now, I'm not about to run off and be a paramedic full time, or, like ride around in an ambulance or whatever. I love what it is that I do now, but I also love the fact that I was able to buy myself the freedom to be able to serve in an even greater way. Otherwise, there's another lost talent or lost, like passion in there that could never be enacted because I didn't, if I was still running some kind of a scarcity pattern for myself. So you've got to sit there, because it's not about me. You've got to sit there yourself, all of you, anybody listening, and go, well, what does freedom and choice actually look like to me? What would you then do with that? And who else could you then fucking help? Right. And so from that place, you can't hate money and you can't not focus on it. You've got to be able to play the dance, of all of it. Yes, of service. Yes, of frequency. Yes, of identity. And yeah, fuck yeah to money as well, because money is freedom and money is choice.
Yeah, 100%. I just love that answer. And when you said, oh, I don't want to be fanning myself in my lingerie on a Ferrari, Lamborghini for my marketing. No, that's just an average Tuesday for us. Thank you very much. We don't do it for the marketing. We just do it for the frequency.
Yeah, so just doing it anyway. Exactly. I'm just not in my luxury car. It's not a drama. Yeah. Exactly. Right?
Okay, cool. I love that answer. I love that answer. So what are you offering at the moment? If somebody was like, yes, Skye, I want to invest in you, what would you be offering to them?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I would say come and have a conversation with me. All right. Like, come and have a conversation. I love the ability, you know, what do I want to say? Yes, I could sit here and tell you guys, what different programs and offerings we have at the moment. And yes, they absolutely exist. But being a human of service, and being a human of integrity and stuff like that, just fucking reach out. Let's just have a conversation. I'm not so connected to your money that I feel the need, to have to hard sell or something like that. I would rather just show up in service. If there is something that has spiked somebody's interest today or that's rolling around in their brain, and or what the extension of that, what I would say is, what I love to really help people with, as I was speaking about before, is that reducing their time and expanding their money. Like, I'm so lucky to be able to work about 2 hours a day, and everything that we teach these days is in and around, 2 hour CEO models, so that you too can, to step into that higher level identity, live into that future self now, implement a business model that is going to work for you, where you get to do less and earn more, have the operating systems, which is going to get you new fucking results, because you have to, be somebody different to get somewhere you've never been before. And so, that's how I want to help people regardless.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I always think like the frequency and the energy and the identity and all that got you to this point is not going to move you forward.
Yeah, and thank you to all past versions of you, who has gotten you to the point, who love you, and change gets to happen in an instant, right? Like right now, this conversation that we're having, somebody out there, fucking line in the sand moment, and that's why I say just come and have a conversation with me. And Megs, you've had enough conversations with me. Like, hopefully, something will come forward, some piece of, wisdom or whatever that in that moment could already change your life. I don't fucking need to sell to you, right? Because I trust, I just gave myself goosebumps again, because I trust enough in just simply having a conversation with another human being in a moment that the universe will bring, people forward, that I can potentially potentially help, but that help could be a single momentary, change that changes the fucking game forever. And I don't know about you, Megs, but I've had plenty of those moments in my own life. And so I know like how simple change and transformation actually can be.
Yeah. Awesome. 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 Can you hear those cockatoos?
I can't know.
Oh, okay. There's like
Not over myself from talking.
massive cockatoos.
They're,
I think
they're
I've got
just
the
going like this.
settings.
They're just loving what I'm saying. And they're like,
Yeah, I'm like, they're sitting
yes,
out there cheering you on. They're like, go
yeah,
Skye.
preach it.
Okay, cool. So if anyone did want to get in contact with you, what's the best way?
Yeah, so the easiest ways are we hang out generally on predominantly on Facebook, and Instagram. Look up me, the human. So me, my personal profile. Skye Hanley. It's that simple. And just reach out. Shoot me a text. I'd love to talk to you. Shoot me a friend request. No drama. We also have Skye Hanley 2 Hour CEO. That's our business page and stuff. But as I said, just come and hang out with me, the person, for a second, and Skye Hanley Unleashed over on Instagram.
Yeah, cool. So I'll put the link for your Facebook with this episode
somewhere. Yes, exactly. As you do.
And I tagged you in the things as well. So if anyone's in the actual group, the CEO Era Facebook group,
yeah,
come over this way and send Skye a message.
Say hi. Just
hi.
ask a question. Just ask a question. Get some help. Like honestly, like it's fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's all fine. So I have one question left for you, and this is a very intense one. So
Ooh.
take your time in answering that. What is your biggest hope for humanity as a whole?
Oh, what is my biggest hope for humanity as a whole? I already know the answer. So, overachiever. So many years ago, actually, I was really rather quite sick, like near vegetabilized. And I was like that for a few months, to be honest with you. And there's, probably a bigger story that goes with that, but I won't go there today because I want to bring you the juice. But in that moment where I was literally the most unwell that I have ever been in my life, with a brain that was just on fire and not functioning, I woke up one morning, like with a lightning bolt to the head, basically. And all of this download and all of this information just started pouring in, and I actually had to sit up. I actually couldn't see very well at the time either. Like it was a lot going on. And I'm typing into my phone, like madly, just trying to get this download, this information, out of me. And what landed was basically my mission. And my mission is to unlock greater human potential, and I was like, oh my gosh, like to unlock greater human potential in people just like you and I, right? Because if people aren't in survival mode, struggling for, roofs over their heads, struggling for, meals and stuff like that, the simple, most basic human rights, think about how much locked up human potential there actually is, right? What discoveries we could make, what advancements and things like that, if people actually just simply had, a level of opportunity because they weren't, as I said, struggling in those kinds of survival modes. And so for me, that would be, the greatest thing that I would want for humanity is, to bring about, for NLP people out there, I'm not a big NLP person. I have studied it, but anyway, it's sevens. Sevens are people who are entrepreneurial minded, strategic minded, as well as, broadly spiritual and looking at the planet from a more planetary, solar system, universal perspective, right? Because the more that we can do that as a whole, then the faster that we will advance. Basically, I just want us to be Star Trek. I mean, we're not quite there yet, and that's okay. But, like think about what's actually possible and what's locked away in people's minds. And so, yeah, to me, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, amazing. I love that. I love that. I'm so glad that you could come and have this conversation with me. Thank you so much. I like
you for having me.
Yeah, I just I've it's just so bizarre, like everybody who is watching, like I wanted to do this for such a long time and I wanted to have Skye on here for a while and I had these ideas and I kept going, no, it's stupid, don't do it. And then I decided I was just going to be a walking, talking Nike ad. Yeah, and just do it. 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 And so yeah, like thank you for for being here, and thank you
Of
for
course. And thank you, like, for being a light, bringing this forward, this opportunity for other people to be able to obviously lean into. Like, it is an honor for me to be here as well, and to share in your energy and your codes and what you bring, to the people who matter to you as well. And you just crushed it in one sentence or one word a moment ago. You said, and I just decided. And when I talk about, change and transformation and that line in the sand, it fucking happens just like that. You just decide, right? And then, life can literally never be the same again.
Yeah. Yeah. My life definitely changed from that moment. I was like, I just decided I was just going to do it.
Yeah.
What have you got to lose? Like,
do all the things. Yeah.
Do all the things. Yes. So I love you and I appreciate you. And anyone who is wanting to contact the beautiful Skye, please don't hesitate to reach out. Like, I would almost guarantee that that's a good decision.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
And for everybody who is listening on the podcast and watching live here in the Embodied CEO Era group, remember to always learn lots and remember to always learn lots. Okay. Love you all.